Hello, I am Bryn Juranic, and this presentation will focus on the advising of high achieving students, who, as we will learn, are difficult to define. An assumption would say that these students do not need the support or advice, but they are really no different than any other student that you'll come across. This presentation will explore the literature, sample practices, theories, and finally, I will discuss two interventions that can be applied in your practice. The problem with advising high achieving students is that they're often very hard to define. There is no formula designed to identify these students. An institution can look at their admissions materials, but that might not tell the full story. Ideally, an advisor will be able to determine this through interaction or referral from a faculty member. Trends have also shown that more and more high school students are graduating with earned college credit, through which can be earned in a number of sources like advanced placement courses, CLEP examinations, attending college courses while still enrolled in high school. There also is a common misconception that they don't need help, but that's not true. Also, many honest colleges are taking on advising, but they're only focusing on academic concerns. These students still need advising support with decision making and career exploration. Unfortunately, there is not a lot of research available. As just mentioned, there's actually very limited research when it comes to the topic of advising high achieving students. But there is literature available that advisors can use to help guide these students through their academic careers. Robinson advocated for early advising and stressed the importance of utilizing advising within the first 2 years of enrollment, and found that students who did so retained at a much higher level and also found more satisfaction with their academic careers. Friedman focused on issues with the African American community and noticed the importance of utilizing mentorship programs as a tool for transition into college life. Kem and Navan researched and explored student perception within this group and found that many were dissatisfied with their college experience because they had a higher expectation and perception of what college would be like. Rise and Raban discussed the complex issues pertaining to high achievers and learning disabilities, which was an interesting article because it really further discussed the more complexities that multiple identities have on students. Tissinger and Murphy advised that advisors should advocate for exploration for their students. So many high achieving students will come to college with very clear and defined expectations, and as we all know, life doesn't always work out the way we plan. So by utilizing exploration, students found more happiness and success by looking into different coursework, getting involved with different groups on campus, and these students also tended to retain and be more satisfied with their experience overall. Doherty mentioned, which I thought was most importantly, is that this area is very unexplored. So hopefully within the next few years there will be more research pertaining to this specific topic of students. And then finally, Holmes discussed in more detail an honors track program that's being utilized at Portland State and how it helps their high achieving population succeed. In the aforementioned literature, advisors should challenge their high achieving students by exploring extracurricular activities. Students participating reported that their involvement provided a more enjoyable college career. An example of this was mentioned by Friedman, who described a mentorship program at Emory University. Their advisors helped students pair with mentors who were community members. This program was very popular with their high-achieving African American student population, who saw it as a great support system throughout their academic career. Programs like these can be enacted at your institution. Mentors can be anyone from an advisor, faculty member, upperclassman, or community member. Another sample practice that has helped retain high-achieving students is the Honors Track program at Portland State University. Holmes mentioned the success that this program had by providing networking opportunities for their business administration students. This Honors Track program had strict admission requirements and expectations, but participants reported that the program benefited them by providing community building, skill building, and networking opportunities. When working with high-achieving students, advisors should challenge students by exploring career opportunities, and programs like these help students learn more about career opportunities after college. When considering the theories available to use with high-achieving students, advisors have a wide variety to choose from. For example, teaching and advising allows students to be challenged, and the expectations can be completely defined with clear objectives and goals. As mentioned earlier, high-achieving students are not always prepared for college. Just because they were successful in high school does by no means mean that they'll be prepared for the rigors of college life. By setting clear objectives, the student is now informed, and the advisor can present information and materials to increase the critical thinking. These theories can also help define with career goals and needs. Appreciative advising, for which we'll discuss further in this presentation, is a great theory or approach because it allows the student to actively contribute to their advising experience. They can also help students through decision making, which can be difficult for high achievers because they've never had to deal with tough decisions before. Proactive advising, which we will also discuss further in this presentation, works in the same ways as it would as an at-risk student. High-achieving students can benefit from early planning. The advising relationship is established so when a crisis or concern does arise, the student is comfortable. Finally, academic advising as friendship is a great way to develop the strong, trusting relationship that is needed for active advising. Doherty mentioned the importance of using Chickering's 7 vectors as a roadmap to self-development. The listed steps of the roadmap that advisors can use to guide their student through their academic career. As well, faculty can also provide guidance and advising to their high-achieving students. This can help build rapport and make the student feel supported while they're attending college. When it comes to intervening with high-achieving students, there's a few things that should happen before you actually sit down with any student. Most importantly, advisors should be trained and knowledgeable about working with high-achieving students. Identify your students. As mentioned earlier, it's very hard to define them. If possible, you could do this through the admissions process or through face-to-face interactions. Students with clearly defined goals and expectations do not always have the highest GPAs. These students can still be considered a high-achieving student, so you want to guide them and work with them just as you would with a student with a 4.0. If your institution has an honors program, utilize faculty or administration from that program as a resource, and devise a plan for early alert system for a high-achieving student who might have struggles or concerns. One option for intervention can be used with proactive advising. The advisor can reach out to all students, including high achievers, so that concerns and fears can be addressed. Ideally, this would happen prior to the students actually attending their courses, so a plan can be devised. Communication should follow a schedule with important information about policies and deadlines, but also about events that might be beneficial, like mentorship opportunities, community service, research opportunities, and internships. The advisor should also check on the students before and during stressful points in the term, like during midterms and finals, as well as during their break periods. Appreciative advising can be used to help guide a student with questions or concerns during their academic career. This is very helpful in helping high-achieving students work through the decision-making process, which can often be difficult as many have not had to make serious life decisions in their past. The first step is the disarm phase. As with any student, this interaction, the advisor must be enthusiastic, positive, and ready to help. This leaves a lasting, trusting impression on the student, which will help aid in the advising process later on. The next phase is the discover phase. The advisor should ask questions to discover a student's traits, weaknesses, and strengths. Building on past accomplishments, for example, an advisor can remind a student of a time they had to overcome an obstacle and help guide them through their current obstacle. The next phase is the dream phase. This is where the advisor can ask their student about their academic goals as well as their life goals. This is also a great time where the advisor can introduce career possibilities to the student. The next phase is the design phase. Through more conversation, life and career goals are continually discussed by the advisor and the student. High achieving students often have very set and strong academic and career goals. This is a great opportunity to open up them to new possibilities. By discussing courses and extracurricular activities as options for them to achieve their goals, the advisor can provide them with the necessary information to achieve those goals. The next phase is the deliver phase. The student is now responsible for realizing their goals. The student should write down their goals and the steps needed to realize them. The advisor will support them by reviewing and advising if there are challenges. The advisor will also update the student with any new opportunities as they become available. In addition, the advisor and student should never settle. The advisor will challenge the student to increasingly higher expectations. The advisor will continue to train and educate themselves on current trends in the field. And when needed, the student and advisor can revise their plan when needed. In addition, when it comes to assessing these models, advising has always been a proven aid in increasing retention. Student surveys can provide insight into strengths and weaknesses in their advising. An advisor can also provide feedback to their superiors for more training. Thank you for attending this presentation. I had a wonderful time going over this information, and have a great day. Thank you.